All right. What about now? Is that better? Do we have sound now? I'm just gonna keep clicking the buttons until somebody says they can hear me. Let me try unplugging it. Or tell me, does this one sound better? It gives me two options, so it's kind of hard to choose. Like, there's the default, and then this is the actual microphone. All right, I'm gonna leave it right here. Hopefully that works. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. She's like, no, gone. Oh my goodness. I hope we're okay. All right, guys, don't forget we're multi-streaming, so Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time. I am looking at the astrology of December 21st through the 26th. Wrong. Winter solstice. We're gonna look. We're all the transits we're going to touch on this week. I'm actually going to give you a sneak peek into the 2026 full moons and new moons. And guys, when I go over that information, I want you guys to pay attention to those moons, because in the mini readings tonight, I'm going to give you guys the option to pick a moon from 2026 that you want to tap into that energy. So we are going to do some free and paid mini readings at the end following the collective. So lots of information. Get comfortable. Grab your waters. I was just jibber jabbing when we didn't have sound about. I feel like I've been dealing with a little bit of like a cough, sneezy type of energy for like, I don't know, over a week now. I would say I'm definitely over it. I'm ready for it to move on. But I have tea tonight. I have the vanilla honey chamomile tea. I think that's going to be my favorite of the chamomiles. I've tried like pure chamomile tea, chamomile and honey, but the one with the vanilla, oh my gosh, hits the spot every time. All right, so we're good. Audio sounds good everywhere. Sweet. All right. Let me get over to my notes. I had a feeling. I think it was Vanessa. It was divine timing, first one in, and I had a feeling that the sound wasn't working when I asked her for a sound check. Alright, so it looks like we have a little bit of an issue on Twitch. Let me refresh over there just really quickly before we get started with our astrology recap for the week. Right, here we go. Perfect. Sound is in and out. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Mute it, Rosa. Um, okay, so I changed to the default option, and hopefully ooh, I see another one. Yes. Oh my gosh, this microphone and all its buttons. Alright, let me know if that's a little bit better, and I'll try to talk into it too. I do have a little bit of music playing in the background, but shouldn't be too bad. Alright, is that seem like it's coming in a little clear? I do have a notification on Twitch, but it's just for the picture, so and I see the picture working just fine, so I'm just gonna leave it be. All right, let me get my notes open for the week. Guys, we're looking at the 21st through the 27th. So Merry Christmas for those of you that celebrate Christmas. I know my little video says Happy Holidays. Guys, it's because there's more than just Christmas happening right now, so I just wanted to make sure I included everyone. Um, I'm gonna be at my sister's this Christmas. I actually was at my sister's last Christmas as well, so, pretty interesting, right? I'm super excited. I'm gonna go back for 11 days, a little mini vacay, um, a little recovery, recoup type of, break for me. I'm super, super excited. Okay, here's my notes. Alright, guys, so let's get started. Get your calendars out. We're looking at the week of December 21st through the 27th. We're starting out the 21st with the winter solstice. So that's coming in. I mean, it's winter for me, right? I'm here in the United States. The sun is also going to enter Capricorn on the 22nd. This is a really powerful time to get serious about your dreams and what it is that you want out of life in general. You want to focus on your biggest goals and then the practical steps that you'll need to take in order to make those goals real. That's going to be the sun entering Capricorn. It's Capricorn season this year. We also have Venus squaring Saturn. So this is going to be a little bit of a gentle reminder to balance fun with responsibility. Give yourself permission to take a needed break right now. Okay. I'm actually going to pause here. I want to talk about a couple of things before we keep going with the transits. There are still several transits for the week that we're going to cover, but I want to talk about burnout and I want to talk about our calendar. Our 12-month calendar that we use, right? So how many of you feel like you're experiencing burnout right now? You feel tired, it's harder for you to find motivation to keep going. What do you feel like you're not sure how to finish something, or you're not sure how to find the energy, that you need to finish something? Um, I feel like right now so it's December 25th. It's December 25th. Why did I say that? It's December 16th, 2025 as I'm live streaming, right? So we're closing out. We have like 2 weeks left in this calendar year, right? And then we have January 1st, 2026. And I say this every year. I try to remind you guys every year. We have 4 seasons, right? So there's spring, summer, fall, and winter. Um, For those of you that don't know, this is actually not the first calendar. This 12-month Gregorian calendar that we use now, this is actually not the first calendar. I wanna say it was like the 1500s or something like that. Um, when this calendar was, the more modern calendar we use now, it was created. Before that, it was Caesar guy changed the calendar, you guys remember that? And then there was, like, the Roman calendar before that, where that one was more, like, lunar-based calendar, and it was more based on, like, the lunar phases, which I think makes more sense, but it was I guess it was confusing to people, and that's why they kept changing them and making it, to what we have today. Well, look at it, we're in the middle of winter season. Like, we're in the middle of the last of 4 seasons, right? Um, like, the Chinese always have their New Year's, like, around springtime, like, March, early April, whenever they do, like, their, Chinese New Year thing. I that makes sense to me because for me, I was just telling a friend of mine, like, for me, for PLR, we're not gonna start our 2026 season until that Aries new moon, which coincidentally happens to be on my birthday. I don't know if you guys seen it on the list there, but the April 17th Aries new moon is the beginning of the new cycle. It's the beginning of spring. It's the beginning of the newness, right? Does that make sense? And winter is like the closure of a cycle. So if you're feeling burnt out, a couple of things. One, I mean, I know it's, like, January 1st right around the corner, and we're supposed to have, like, all this extra energy and be excited about the new year and yada, 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 but most of us are closing out cycles and chapters, of our lives that are exhausting, to say the least, right? And again, that's probably why so many of us are feeling the burnout, right? So one thing I wanna tell you about burnout that Spirit has been teaching me, one, burnout can last a couple of days, it can last a couple of weeks, it could last a few months, it could even last a few years, right? So really the trick to burnout and there's no, like, no I don't have a magic wand to wave. I'm gonna tell you something that I feel like most people aren't gonna wanna hear. That's what I do here at POR. But with burnout, if you feel like you're experiencing that, like, it's hard for you to get motivated, it's hard for you to finish projects, you just feel tired all the time, it definitely could be seasonal, right? Because 'Cause we're in the middle of this winter season, um, but it could also be something much more than that. And one of the tricks to burnout to recovering from burnout is to stop doing so much, right? You have to do less. And I don't think people want to hear that. I think people think that if you're, like, kick it into gear or force yourself or be more productive, then you can get to burnout. That actually is not true. It's been studied for however long, right? Like, the more you do, the more you're putting yourself into the burnout, and it can definitely cause it to last longer, right? So if you feel like you're experiencing burnout, do a little research and do a lot less, right? Do a lot less work. Cut back where you can. Allow yourself to drop some of the balls that you're trying to, like, juggle and keep in the air, right? I was actually just watching a video about learning which ones are your rubber balls and which ones are your glass balls, right? But when you're experiencing burnout, that's one of the things you're going to have to do. There's no way to get around it. You're just gonna have to do a lot less. Of course, self-care and therapy and things like that could definitely be helpful to help you recover and move out of burnout. But I think the biggest thing is just not pushing yourself to do more, right? Does that make sense, guys? All right, let's keep going. All right, so the moon on the 22nd, I'm still on the 22nd. So the sun is gonna enter Capricorn, solstice the day before, um, Venus squaring Saturn the same time that Capricorn season is starting. We also have the moon trine Uranus. So this is gonna be about trusting your unique approach. It's gonna be a great time to try something new that's your way. We're also experiencing a waxing crescent moon in Aquarius, so the energy supports looking ahead and brainstorming. All right, on December 23rd, we have the moon sextile Mercury, so your mind is going to feel sharp. You want to focus on ideas and make progress on immediate plans. Learning can definitely feel like it's coming easily on the 23rd. On December 24th, is my mother's birthday, Christmas Eve, is Venus squaring Neptune. So this is protect your energy day. It's okay to help others, but remember to recharge your own spirit first. I think quiet time could be very restorative to all of us at this time. We also have Venus entering Capricorn on the 24th, Christmas Eve. So love and beauty are going to align with ambition. Attract and build what is stable, valuable, and lasting. We're also going to experience the moon entering Pisces, which is a perfect energy for reflection and wrapping up loose ends. Okay, on December 25th, which is Christmas Day, we have the moon sextile Mars. So you have a clear boost of motivated energy on this day. You want to channel it into a project or a goal that you feel passionate about. On the 26th, the day after Christmas, we have the moon trine Jupiter. So this is big, optimistic ideas. You may feel inspired to expand your horizons and make plans for growth. Then last one, December 27th, we have the moon sextile Pluto. So you have the power to make a profound change on this day. Do the brave work that leads you to a greater personal freedom. We also have the moon entering Aries. So your initiative is high on this day. Start something that excites you. It's going to be first quarter moon in Aries. So it's time for decisive action. Use your enthusiasm to push past any obstacles and make that'll help you make tangible progress. All right, who's ready for the 2026 sneak peek of our moon illuminations? I thought that since this is a little bit of a short week, no full moons or new moons, we could sneak this information in so we can tap into all those moons coming in. So that's all the full moons on your screen. I even put like whether super moons or not. We do have a blue moon in May. I don't know if you guys see that. And we're gonna go over all the new moons too, but let's start. All right, so January. January's full moon comes in on January 3rd. It's called the Wolf Supermoon, and the theme for the January 3rd full moon is gonna be fierce introspection and the courage to honor your authentic path or pack, right? Because it's the wolf moon. On January 18th, we have the new moon, and the theme here is gonna be planting seeds for personal foundations and committed new beginnings. Alright, so on February, the full moon it comes in on February 1st, and it's the snow moon. So this is illuminating what lies beneath the surface, finding clarity and peace and stillness. The new moon will be here on the 17th of February, and that's going to be initiating dreams and visions from a place of spiritual connection and compassion. In March, the full moon comes in on the 3rd. It's the worm moon. So the energy here is energizing action, breaking through final barriers as your new life and opportunities start to come to the surface. New moon comes in on March 18th. So the theme here is rebirth and renewal of the self, setting powerful intentions for who you are becoming. April, my birthday month, so my favorite moons, right? The full moon comes in on April 1st. That should be a fun one, right? Because we have April Fools. It's gonna be the pink moon, and the theme is definitely full-blown passion. That's that Aries energy, creativity, and the joyful celebration of beauty and connection. I feel like for those of you that are experiencing a little burnout right now, or for those of you that aren't really feeling the holidays like we feel like we're supposed to, maybe for those of you that aren't super um, feeling the new year coming in, or like new exciting cycles are starting, or like new abundance is about to start to flow in, very possible that this will be the energy you feel when we experience the Aries new moon on April 17th. Again, the theme of planting seeds for bold, authentic self-expression and definitely daring to be seen, Aries. All right, so in May, we have the full moon on May 1st. That's the flower moon. It's going to be about blossoming into abundance, sensual pleasures, and full expression of your gift. We have the new moon on May 16th. The theme is setting intentions for practical systems, daily rituals, and nurturing your physical well-being. In May, we also have so it's full moons, the blue moon, right? May 31st. It's gonna be a potent moment for release and culmination, amplifying the energy of duality or a significant completion. In June, we have the full moon on the 29th. It's the strawberry moon, sweet harvest of relationships and projects, a time of gratitude and connection. The new moon will be on the 14th of June, and it's new beginnings in communication, curiosity, and local community. In July, the full moon comes in on the 29th. This is the buck moon, and the theme is claiming your personal power, authority, and stepping into leadership in your own life. The new moon will be here July 14th, and it's initiating deep emotional security, home and family matters from a nurturing core. In August, the full moon comes in on the 28th. It's the sturgeon moon, And the theme is illuminating hidden emotional depths, intuition, and the reward of inner work. The new moon comes in on the 12th of August. It's a solar eclipse, and this is going to be a powerful, fated new beginning regarding your unique identity, creativity, and life path. In September of 2026, the full moon will come in on the 26th. It's called the corn moon, and the theme is balancing inner work with outer service, finding harmony between sacrifice and personal needs. The new moon will come in on September 10th, and the theme is planting seeds for order, refinement, and improved systems in work and health. In October, the full moon is on the 25th. It's the hunter's moon, and it's going to illuminate partnerships and relationships. It's going to help you seek balance, justice, and a conscious connection. The new moon comes in on the 10th. It's the Libra new moon, initiating new cycles of harmony, diplomacy, and one-on-one relationships. In November, the full moon will be November 24th. It's the Beaver moon, and this is revealing deep psychological truths, shared resources, and the power of transformative release. The new moon will be here November 9th. It's going to be in Scorpio, setting powerful intentions for transformation, rebirth, and emerging resources or intimacy. And finally, December 2026, the full moon will be here on the 23rd. Called the cold moon, and the theme is going to be expanding horizons through truth and philosophy, understanding the broader meaning of your journey. The new moon will be on December 8th. It's in Sagittarius, and it's planting seeds for adventure, freedom, higher learning, and optimistic new visions for the future. As we actually have the 2025 Sagittarius new moon coming in just a few days. We did talk about that energy last week, so if you guys missed that information, you may want to go and check it out. Welcome, Sandra. Welcome, welcome. So we just got done talking about the astrology for the week of the 21st to the 27th. The solstice coming in, Capricorn season coming in all at the same time. Venus with that square all at the same time. Definitely could make for, I feel like the energy may feel heavy, but I feel like we're going to, it's definitely giving energy of like plowing through something. Right. So we did tap into all of those full moons and new moons for 2026. So I hope you guys got an idea of what those formations will look like. I'm going to do a quick reading for the collective, and I will offer some mini readings at the end. Sound still okay, ladies? You know me and Sandra. We had no sound for like the first few moments. I was just sitting over here jabbering away. I'm actually at a friend's house tonight. I had a little bit of an internet difficulty at home just for a short period, but I came over here so I didn't have to reschedule tonight's live. And I brought my little board that Sandra made me. You guys know I'm talking about the purple and a rose board. I love this thing because it's like I can pull it out anywhere and read tarot. She says sound is good and bad. That's awful. That is so upsetting. And there's so many options that I can pick for the mic. So it's like I don't know which one is the better one. Is it still sweet? Okay, I don't know. I hit the mute button. Maybe it took it a minute to get back. All right, let's do a quick collective. I'm going to start with the masculine energy first. Remember, guys, I feel like we probably don't like go over the information as much as I'm supposed to. Oh my gosh, are you serious, Diana? That's so weird, right? It's definitely acting funny tonight for sure. I feel like we probably don't discuss the masculine and feminine energy as much as we should. I get a lot of people like this week. I feel like I've had a lot of people ask me like really basic questions about masculine and feminine energy, and it's like, man, I really thought that like we had covered that extensively, but we get new people, right? And it's like I probably need to go over it more than once or twice, right? So I used to say we used to talk about it all the time when we would do the collective readings. But when I'm looking at masculine and feminine energies, guys, we all have masculine and feminine energies within. It really doesn't have anything to do with like male or female. It has nothing to do with gender. Masculine and feminine energies are energies that create like who we are as people, as humans, right? And our masculine energy, I used to say, is the energy that causes you to like lock your doors at night, right? It's the energy that causes you to protect your family. It's the energy that causes you to like work and provide, right? And then your feminine energy is the energy that is like nurturing. It's self-care energy. It's the energy that causes you to wash your hair, things like this, right? So we all wash our hair, right? We all lock our doors, right? We all provide, put food on the table. We all have both of those energies. I do feel that if you're experiencing this type of spiritual awakening journey, you're learning how to balance those two. Um, so this is the kind of spiritual awakening journey that I'm having. But remember, you can have like a lot of people don't really understand the twin flame spiritual awakening journey because they're having a different type of awakening, right? I do feel that balancing those inner energies is probably a part of any type of awakening, right? Like it doesn't really matter what caused you to have your spiritual awakening, but you're probably learning how to balance those energies. I think that like with twin flame, it feels like we're always in the opposite. Like, we're always for example, if I'm a woman and again, it doesn't have anything to do with gender, I'm just saying this is what it seems, what it looks like, um, from, like, outside perspective, right? It looks like you'll have females, in this relationship that are over-giving or over-providing. They're definitely more strongly in their masculine energy, and then you'll have the man who is, receiving all of her attention. all of their admiration, all whatever. And it's like it's opposite, right? And again, it has nothing to do with man or two women, it could be two men, it doesn't matter. But what's happening is we're learning that we're too one-sided in these energies. We're either overgiving and depleting ourselves, or we're taking too much and we're not the energy exchange isn't balanced, right? So through spiritual awakening, learn to balance those two energies as you go through your healing process, right? It's like that's what happens. And then it's not like too much one or the other. Does that make sense? So when we're looking at masculine and feminine energies in the collective reading, we're looking at that energy that causes you to protect yourself. And we're looking at the energy that causes you to nurture yourself. Bridging energy is going to be your current spiritual lesson, the thing that you're learning right now. So if you're watching or you're hearing me and you're like, "Am I in this collective? Am I having this type of awakening?" The bridging energy will tell you, because if you're experiencing that spiritual lesson, then you're in this collective, right? This collective energy. There's different collectives now. There's different types of awakening. There's different things that cause spiritual awakening. Um, I think a lot of us are currently dealing, and again, this is just like Pluto and Aquarius type of energy, but it's like a lot of us are currently dealing with family members that are awakening. And we've already been going through our spiritual awakening, right? So it's like we're seeing a lot of family come and ask us like spiritual questions or awakening questions, um, because you're the light, you're the one they've seen going through the awakening already, right? But the second really common thing that I've noticed about the collective is that not only are we seeing like close family members or friends around us also starting to begin to experience spiritual awakening, but we're also experiencing a lot of uh, spiritual awakening that's caused by drug use. So I'm experiencing a twin flame spiritual awakening, and that just means that I experienced a really unusual type of relationship, that caused me a lot of trauma. Honestly, break it down, that's what it means. Make sure I can spin that more positive and I can sprinkle a little sugar on it, and I can make it sound more fairy tale-ishy, but the facts of the matter is that I experienced a relationship that caused me a lot of trauma. And so that caused my spiritual awakening, right? Well, a lot of us, another way of having a spiritual awakening is through drug use. Um, uh, Sometimes people will do an excess amount of drugs, and that will catapult their spiritual awakening. You can have a spiritual awakening from experiencing a bad car, right? You could near death experiences, right? Could cause spiritual awakening. What a spiritual awakening is trauma. It's a certain amount of trauma to the body where the mind feels like it can't handle that trauma anymore, right? And then there's a breakdown of the system. There's a breakdown of the mind. There's a breakdown of your belief system and your foundation. That's a spiritual awakening. So when we're looking at the masculine and feminine energies, if you're experiencing the same type of spiritual awakening that I'm experiencing, it's very possible that you'll also be able to feel the reading as you're touching or contacting or coming into connection with your counterpart energy. In other words, the person that caused your spiritual awakening. And that is, again, very collective and very personal. But I do feel that for those of us that are experiencing twin flame spiritual awakening, many of us are noticing that our friends and family, people close to us, are also experiencing spiritual awakening. They're at the beginning, right? And a lot of them are coming through drug use. So I know it's not something pretty, it's not something we want to talk about, um, but I just want to say it out loud so that everyone can hear me and y'all can understand that it's not just you. It's not happening to just you. It is very much collective. Um, I actually experienced a massive breakthrough this past summer, uh, fall time where I realized that every single person I had dated in, like, my whole life, was recovering from some type of addiction or actively addicted. Um, and I felt like I'm, like, constantly overgiving in these relationships, like, I'm constantly trying to, like, fix the person, right, or heal them, or make them better, make them not need the drugs, right? And I started, like, following this timeline back, and I realized that, like, it went back further than my relationships, like, my mother was an addict and had a lot of drug problems, right? And so, I guess it would make sense that I would, have this issue and have this, like, repeated cycle, right? I definitely will say that the aha moment gave me clarity, and I can't see myself, like, repeating that cycle, right? It's like now when you know something, you can't, like, do it again, you know what I mean? It's like now you have the knowledge, you have the wisdom or the power or, you know, whatever you wanna call it. So it's like now you start a new cycle. You break the chain, start a new cycle, it's a new journey, it's a new chapter, it's a new path, right? So I definitely can feel like that's what's happened to me, and very possible that, if you're hearing me and it resonates, it's pulling at your heartstrings, that this could be the case for you as well. But again, I just wanted to say it out loud so everybody would understand that this is very collective and this is something that a lot of us are dealing with. And it is very challenging and it is, uh, it's heavy, it's emotional. We don't know. It's a struggle to keep the protective energy and the wanting to nurture and give energy balanced when it comes to our close loved ones and friends, right? Especially through spiritual awakening because we've already been through it. You know what I mean? We've already been through it, so we know what they're going through. We know what it feels like when your entire belief system has to be demolished and rebuilt, right? I think it gives us a lot of um, passion. Right. So with all of that said, let's do a quick collection. All right, masculine energy first. I'm using the Modern Goddess Tarot tonight. Queen of Wands comes out for the masculine energy. Queen of Wands could have something to do with showing kindness and compassion. When it comes to the masculine, I think this is to themselves. The masculine could be feeling that they're not quite fit for something, or they don't um, could feel like they're not meeting the bar, like they're not meeting some goal. There's this energy of imposter syndrome. All right, let's look at the feminine energy. Chariot comes out. So very opposite energies. I see the 7 of Cups on the bottom. So the Chariot is Cancer energy. So Cancer energy coming out strongly. Of course, the fire signs as well with the masculine. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But with the Chariot, and again, I'm using the Modern Goddess Tarot. She's actually sitting in a wheelchair, and it looks like she's riding this cosmic wave through the galaxy. But it's this energy of move quickly. Victory is already yours. There's no obstacles in your way. You can go faster. Um, It almost looks to me like she is holding the wheels of the wheelchair, and it almost looks like she's trying to s like, slow it down just a little bit. And I feel like for if I'm talking to the feminine energy who's feeling that burnout energy we were talking about earlier, slowing it down is gonna be important, but not because you can't do something. You can do it. You're strong enough. You're strong enough to accomplish whatever it is, but because there's a better way of going at it. That's what I'm getting with the chair. Audio is still good, ladies. Let me know. Do a audio. Let me know, Vanessa. How's it sound over on Facebook? Bridging energy. We have the Two of Pentacles. That's that burnout energy that I was talking about earlier. Again, because we're at in the middle of this winter season, right? Four seasons, we're in the middle of the last season. I know that like New Year's is only a couple of weeks away, but I feel like most of us feel like we're in the middle of the fourth season, right? Does that make sense? Still, is it still that bad? That is so this audio is I'm gonna turn I gotta know. I play it on my phone and it has a little bit of a delay so I can tell what I sound like. Diana says audio is still good on YouTube. Ooh, I think the default is better. It sounds louder. Divine timing says it's good there. All right, let me know. Still good? Okay, so Two of Pentacles coming out for your bridging energy just confirms that burnout that I was feeling, that I was saying like we could be experiencing right now. It is energy of feeling like you're being stretched in too many areas. So I know I gave some advice where I was like, um, I have a burnout tip. There's no like magic answer to burnout. There's no like I can't give you some formula and be like, do this, and then you won't have burnout anymore. That's just not possible. It's a recovery process for sure. And the longer you delay that recovery process, the more challenging it could be, right? But I do know that the number one tip for burnout recovery is stop doing so much. Don't fall for that. I gotta do more. I gotta get on the ball. I gotta be more productive. Don't fall for that because you're just going to delay the inevitable. You're just gonna cause the burnout to be longer, deeper, like a bigger hole that you have to crawl out of, right? So, if you're feeling like you're being stretched in too many directions, if you're feeling like it's hard for you to get your footing right now, if you feel like you're lacking motivation to finish a project or even just to take the next step, stop moving. Slow down. Don't push yourself. It's not gonna help in any shape, way, form, or fashion. The best thing to do is to get that grounding. The best thing to do is to get both feet flat on the ground. Does that make sense? And then you can start with one small step forward. I think we're always pushing ourselves so hard, and then that's why we experience all this type of, like, burnout energy, right? Does that make sense? Alright, let's do a little head, heart, and higher self. Okay, so the world comes out for the headspace of divine masculine. This is definitely about ending old cycles, closing old chapters. My masculine could be looking for some type of new opportunity. Could be something that has to do with their purpose. It could be something that has to do with the masculines, something they have been working towards or invested in. Temperance comes out in the heart space. Temperance is about balance. It's Sagittarius energy. As you remember, we're live streaming. It's December 16th. I know we're talking about the almost the end of December, but we're always a week ahead, right? So we actually have the new moon, Sagittarius new moon, coming in on the 19th. We talked about it last week, and I definitely feel like this energy was it's forced spiritual alignment. I mean, I don't know how else to say that. I can't sugarcoat it. Um, that's what it is. So it's like the more we have derailed from our soul's path or journey, the more forward alignment seems, right? I think for the masculine, it's going to be about finding the balance in their healing. Um, the masculine could definitely be that energy where it feels like, oh, I'm having burnout, so I need to be more productive so I can get out of it, right? And that's actually not correct. It's the opposite of what you need to do. Right? All right, let's look at higher self lesson for divine masculine. We have the Ace of Swords. So communication is going to be key. New communication could be a possibility. It's definitely more, I think, about clarity and understanding. I do see the strength card on the bottom, so lead energy coming in strongly as well. I'm loving seeing all of the major arcana coming out. The World card, the Chariot, Temperance. All right, like make note of those moons for 2026. Because when we get done with the collective, I'm going to offer some mini readings. So if anybody wants to tap into any one of those moons, I of course am going to recommend the April 17th Aries new moon, but I'm biased, right? I'm the Aries. It is the start of the new year, the new lunar year. All right, let's pull feminine energy next. Comes right out. I will say for the feminine energy, I was watching Soulful Revelation. She got her twin flame reading out earlier today. I'm definitely noticing this a little bit of an upkick with the feminine. I feel like I felt it in the last few collective readings we've done, where this is a little bit of a blow up for the feminine energy. Even if you're experiencing burnout, you're grounding. So masculine energy could be experiencing burnout, and it's like, I don't know what to do next. I'm feeling a lack of motivation, to finish something or to start something. It's not about starting something. It's more about finishing something. But with the feminine energy, we're feeling that lack of motivation, but we're still showing up, right? Like I wouldn't say we're pushing through, we're learning which one of the balls that we have up in the air is okay to let go, right? Like we're learning that doing less is actually more, right? So I feel like for the divine feminine, that's the difference between the divine masculine. That's why the divine feminine feels like it's getting a little bit of like this uptick or like a little bit of the chariot, like the victory's already yours type of energy, right? All right. In the headspace for divine feminine, Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is slow moving energy, so confirmation there. But it is about like it's time to get to work. It's time to get to work that's very responsible. This is part of your duty type of energy. I also see Knight of Swords coming out in the heart space. I do believe there is communication between the masculine and the feminine. We'll go over that in just a moment. Let's pull higher self for divine feminine. The devil comes out. Oh my goodness. Alright, so the devil is Capricorn energy. Capricorn season is starting on the 22nd, right? Okay, so the devil card represents karmic energy, karmic lessons. Like, did you finally figure something out? Did you finally learn something? I will say in the modern goddess tarot, she's very bold looking. She is wearing these like it looks like cuffs with chains on her wrist, but she's broken the chains, so like she's freed herself, right? So I do feel that for the divine masculine, you could be experiencing um, some revisiting of some karmic lessons as we're closing out these chapters. Especially it being the 9 year, which is a karmic year, which is again closing out karmic lessons. So I feel like for the divine feminine, you could be getting a lot of um, I don't want to say repeated lessons, but it's like a lot of opportunities to make a different choice. Does that make sense? Um, I think that's kind of what the devil card is representing. Let's talk about the communication in the heart space a little bit. So Knight of Swords is my clue card for breakup. But it's also about freedom and liberation. It's communication that talks about wanting to be free from something. And that is coming from the divine masculine to the divine feminine. The divine feminine message to the divine masculine is this temperance major arcana. Definitely a healing issue. I think it's more about finding balance. And I think that is like it's almost like the divine feminine is helping the divine masculine by sending that message, like, hey, you need to, slow something down, balance something out, something like that. And with the Knight of Swords coming out, I mean, it could be a message that the divine masculine is finding freedom and liberation, but it could also be this message where the masculine feels guarded and wants to keep the feminine at arm's length. It's just a picture in the Knight of Swords in the modern goddess tarot. It looks like she's pointing her sword out and saying, like, you stand back, right? It's kind of giving a little bit of that energy. All right, I'm gonna pull a guidance card. Vanessa says January 3rd, Wolf Moon read, please. I love it. We're totally gonna personalize it. Like we're gonna pull up the January 3rd Wolf Moon energies. And we're gonna personalize the 3 card read. It's gonna be awesome. All right, here's some guidance, collective energies, divine masculine, divine feminine. I have the healer card coming out. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. So right now, everything feels heavy. It feels dense. It could feel intense at times. Again, if you're experiencing burnout, you could feel like you have this weight on your shoulders and you're not sure how you're going to keep carrying it or how you're going to keep moving forward. You could be struggling to find motivation. Um, Humor is going to be key. So that's another thing so I'm not really allowed to, like, watch too much TV anymore, it seems like, Spirit does not encourage it, unless it's, like, something that's, like, spiritual or I'm learning something or, something like that, but there is something that I've noticed that Spirit doesn't mind, like, in my off time, like, when I've done all my videos, I've caught up on all my readings, I've got my free time, I've noticed that stand-up comedy, like, I'm allowed to watch stand-up comedy without too much, of the disturbance in the field, right? But I've been watching, Josh Johnson. Have you guys heard of Josh Johnson yet? He does political I mean, well, that's not true. He does all kinds of stand-up comedy. He talks about, like, current events, that's what I should say. He talks about current events, but he does do political stand-up comedy. And honestly, like Spirit wants us to be informed of what's happening in the world. Like we can't live in ignorance. That's not allowed, right? Like, we can't ignore things. But we don't want to we're also supposed to have faith, right? So it's like we don't want to doom scroll and just, look at all the negativity of the world and be like, "Oh, this shit sucks," right? Like, spirit doesn't want us doing that either. Again, balance is gonna be key. Uh, but it's almost like I get, current events or caught up on current events just by watching something that is funny or lighthearted, right? I like Josh Johnson because he gives you facts, about things, again, that are current events that are happening, but he does it in a very lighthearted, humorous way, right? If you guys haven't checked him out yet, definitely someone, that could give, a little bit of humor in your life, right? Alright, we also have acceptance. It says, "I'm learning to accept things that I cannot change." I think that has a lot to do with that burnout that I was talking about. When we're experiencing burnout, it's because, think about it like this, you're juggling all of these balls, right, in the air, and it's like you're trying to keep everything going, right? That's why we experience burnout when it just gets to be too much for too long. So you have to decide which one of those balls you can let go of, right? It feels weird saying balls, I don't know why. It's like you have to decide which one, which one is rubber, which one is glass, which one can you let go and bounce back and pick up later, or, which one do you need to prioritize because you can't really drop that particular ball, right? So I feel like that acceptance with that energy could definitely help us as we work through this last little bit of December. Card comes out, my ears just took off. It says, I'm a being of love, and I release all negative energy. That's definitely going to be something that we all feel happening as we move into the 2026 year. Remember, numerology, guys, is huge, but we are closing out this 9 year. Um, with nines, it is energy of chaos, destruction, evil, uh, karmic type of energy. And as we move through the one, it's like all of that gets broke down, and the one se- um, like year or number, gives us a brand new start, a brand new cycle, a brand new chapter, right? So this energy could feel very chaotic as we're closing out 2025, and the key is definitely going to be to ground into your inner peace, right? Which just means that you're going to integrate everything you've learned through spiritual awakening that helps you uh, balance and stay in that inner peace. All right, that's gonna be the collective. Discipline is on the bottom, and it says, "I can accomplish what I set my mind to." I feel like Spirit has been giving us a hard lesson in discipline in just the last weeks, especially with Saturn retrograde and then going direct. I remember saying when Saturn went retrograde that helped us find the discipline that we all needed, and I feel done that. So I mean, that is something. I definitely needed a little bit more help staying more consistent, especially when it came to live streams and things like that. So I feel like that energy definitely came true and has been very helpful. Alright. Vanessa wants to do the January 3rd wolf moon. So let's pull it up. Let's pull it up and look at it. So Vanessa, it's the first full moon of the year. It's known for the howling of wolves in winter, and it symbolizes new beginnings and inner strength. It will appear extra bright in the earth near its closest point because it is a super moon. I can't count how many supermoons were there. There were several in 2026. All right. So the origin of the wolf moon says it came from Native American tribes, early settlers, named for wolves howling in the deep winter hunger when food was scarce. So you know how I kept reading it? It was like it talks about, first full moon of the year, symbolizing new beginnings and inner strength. Um, you gotta have the inner strength because you're in the middle of winter when things are scarce, when things are more challenging, right? When maybe you're a little bit more hungrier than normal, right? So that's the wolf moon. I think the new the newness or, like, the new cycles or the new beginnings that it's talking about, is you preparing for them. I don't feel like they're actually gonna be here when we're looking at dates like January 3rd, right? I think that's why so many of us struggle too, um, with, like, New Year's resolutions. How many of you feel like you start a New Year's resolution, and then maybe you do it for a couple of days, and then by February, you've already stopped, and you're beating yourself up, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't finish anything." It's not you. It's honestly, like, if you tried to do a New Year's resolution, with that Aries new moon, you know what I'm saying, on April 17th, I would guarantee you that that would stick a lot more if you're trying to start something new or some type of resolution that you need to stick to in the middle of the winter scarcity. Does that make sense? So I'm telling you, it's like it's because we're in the middle of this winter season or like the last season. All right, Vanessa, let's do says resolutions never work. I know. I feel like for me, what happens is they don't work at first, right? Because again, we're in the middle of scarceness. And then like, I pick it back up, sometime around, like, end of February, March, when it's more springy time, and I do feel like they last longer, like, I do better with them, in the springtime because it just has that feeling like you're starting a new cycle, you're doing something, the weather is better, it's not freezing your butt off, I don't know. It just feels like it's easier to start new things in the springtime. Think about it, like when we do spring cleaning, you know what I mean? We're getting all the old out, getting things ready for the new year. It just makes more sense to me. Alright, so the first thing I wanna look at is January 3rd, the wolf moon. When's your birthday? Is your birthday around there? Is that why we picked this one? I know it's Aquarius, so it has to be close. Um, I wanna start with the scarceness. That's what I wanna look at first. Ooh, we have the star. Right hope for the future. That's a challenging one, and that is Aquarius energy. Coincidence? I think not. Okay, so very possible, Vanessa, that when the January 3rd moon comes in, that wolf moon, you're hungry for something. It's probably some type of hope. You're hungry for hope. You're hungry for a new cycle, a new beginning, a new future. You're gonna feel like, where is this new year that everybody's celebrating or talking about? You're gonna feel like you can't quite see it yet. In the Modern Goddess Tarot, the star, she's looking through, one of those old-timey, telescopes, right? Like, back in the, uh, Bethlehem days, you know what I'm talking about with the 3 wise men? It's like back in those days. It looks like she's looking through one of those. So, it is giving this energy of, like, something seems, far away, something seems out of reach. It doesn't mean that that's true. It doesn't mean that the January 3rd wolf moon, like things will be out of reach. It just means that you may be getting some perspective on maybe how come things are taking as much as long as they're taking or something like that, right? I think that's a good a heads up from spirit. So, that's only a couple of weeks away. So in a couple of weeks, if you're feeling that energy, like, scarceness, like you're not sure when the good, exciting thing is coming, start focusing on what's going to happen for you around that Aries new moon, that April 17th date. That can definitely give you just a better perspective of timing, right? All right, so the next thing I'm gonna look at is, let's say you get through this scarceness, you make it to, um, the the lunar new year, um, we have the World card coming out. So it's like multiple opportunities. So you go from scarceness, this energy of like blank, like there's not enough of anything. I'm really wondering like when is that going to change? When is this new life coming in? That type of thing. So now I want to focus more on that lunar new year, that Aries new moon. The World card says like everything's popping. Everything's popping at this time. This is all new opportunities. And this could also there's something about the braid in her hair that is sticking out to me, but this could also be about, like, new paths and new directions. Alright, let's pull a guidance card. How does spirit say you're gonna get from one to the other? As a gratitude card, I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. So Spirit's been working on me with gratitude as well. So I'm just saying, definitely very helpful when you focus on the positive, especially when you're feeling that lack or scarceness energy, right? All right, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope that was helpful. And this is I would look at talking to heaven. I do have my talking to heaven card. Vanessa says January 5th. Spring timing, moon reading as your choice. I'm a Taurus rising. We have to do the Taurus moon. All right, so with yours, we'll just do it a little bit of the opposite. Thank you, Vanessa. All right, I'm gonna do divine timings, and then we'll do talking to heaven, Diana. And Diana, it can help if you are thinking about who you want to get a message from. And if you're not sure who, but you have an idea of like family, you could just start thinking of your family members. That the bottom of the honey vanilla chamomile tea. It's like I can't even tell you. Oh my gosh. I think where all the honey and the vanilla have settled at the bottom, you know what I mean? It's delicious. Alright, so with the Taurus, let's do the Taurus. So it's gonna come in May 16th. It says new beginnings, manifestations, and solid growth in finances, career, and personal values as Uranus transitions out of Taurus. Oh, girl, we just happened to look this one up. And you're a Taurus rising, so that means all of 2026. Wow, that's exciting. Divine Okay, so it tells me a couple of things. One, while Uranus has been in Taurus going through these retrogrades and oh my gosh, like your finances because Taurus, it doesn't matter where it falls on your chart. Um, Taurus rules the second house. So it's the natural ruler of the second house, which is assets, money. It's not necessarily 10th house career or job. It's just money and assets, things you own and things you have. So that means that while Uranus is going through Taurus and going through this uh, retrograde period, you definitely have had like the tables turned, upheaval, destruction. The foundation has crumbled when it comes to assets, the things you own, have, that type of thing. So I just want to point out though, I mean, I know that sounds like awful, right? I'm sure it was like, pat yourself on the back for making it through, have mercy. And really, Uranus and Taurus affected all of us. Now, it affected you more because you have Taurus rising, right? But it affected every person on the planet. Every person on the planet has had some type of like Uranus energy when it comes to their assets, finances, the things they own and have. Um, for the most part, like for the majority, Miss Al, welcome. Okay, so for the majority of us on this planet, um, we have experience with Uranus and Taurus upheaval. Um, it's like we built something. Imagine like a bunch of money being stacked on a table. Your savings, your stock market, your investments. You know what I'm saying? And it's just piling, you're investing, and you're putting in more and more and more. And then someone comes and kicks the table, and now all the dollar bills are flying every which where. You see what I'm trying to say? And it's upheaval. It's tables turned. It things are upside down. It's not like they turned in your favor. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's for the majority of the people on this planet. Now I understand that we have like the billionaire group and we have the con artists and the scammers and the people that I know right now look like their bank accounts are just growing like rainbow hearts coming from a unicorn. It's very true. That is what's happening. But that's Pluto and Aquarius energy. Remember we talked about that at the end of the I mean, we've talked about it for a couple of years now. But Pluto and Aquarius is very much a and it started, the end of 2024 in November, but it's very much of destruction of these foundations, right? Where bad people can get a lot of resources and then keep them from other people, right? So that's why Pluto is in Aquarius now, so that that can be like blown out of the water. And I just want to point out that we had to see it before we could fix it. Like, there's so many people listening to me right now that did not know our government was crooked, that did not know that we had our best interests at heart, that did not know we were dealing with pedophiles and con artists and scammers and thieves. Um, now we do, right? Now we're all on the same page. Now we all see it. Now we can heal it. We can recover. We can rebuild, and we can do it better, right? So that's Pluto and Aquarius. That's what's happening. Uranus and Taurus gave us all this destruction, all of this upheaval when it came to, again, yours a little bit different because you have this Taurus rising. So the first card I want to look at with yours divine timing, I want to see what was your upheaval, like what happened to you as Uranus transited through Taurus. So we have Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune normally would mean like good luck and good fortune, things bending in your favor. I'm looking at what happened as Uranus went through the transit through Taurus. I know that you're not one of those billionaires, so I know that you didn't like, you know, get rich on a big market, investment. I know that didn't happen to you, right? So, and not because, like, I know you personally, but because I know you're not like, the 8 people in the world. We all know who they are. You know what I'm saying? And you're just not one of those people. So that tells me that the Wheel of Fortune is things maybe felt like they stopped bending in your favor. Maybe you used to think like, "Man, I used to have a lot of good luck, and I seem to be running out of luck lately." Or, "I seem to keep hitting one brick wall or one obstacle after another lately." Or, things I haven't felt very lucky. Things haven't really bent in my favor lately. You may have been going through that type of energy as Uranus. was transiting through Taurus. All right, now I want to look at what's the manifestation. What's something that you've been manifesting? We've all been manifesting something as Uranus transited through Taurus. We've all been trying to create something, make something. We can't figure out why it's so challenging and why it's not. We almost have like some type of knowing that it's supposed to happen or successful, but we just keep hitting. It's like one test after another type of energy. So as Uranus moves out of Taurus, we're definitely going to start to see some of those manifestations, and not just divine timing, but like all of us that have been going through this energy. Some of those manifestations start to come in, and some of us may see them come in very, very quickly, especially those that went through, like, did the work. Those of us that stayed grounded, those of us that instead of losing faith, we did the work to build our faith when times got harder, right? Those are the ones that I think are going to experience it in a much quicker fashion, right? Divine timing, you're one of those people. You have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is a great victory. It's notoriety. It's being noticed. I think it's the universe noticing that you stayed grounded. You built your faith when you felt like your faith was being attacked, and you felt like most people would begin to lack faith. You did the work to make your faith stronger so that you could manifest, so that you could pull this in energy in. All right, let's pull a guidance card. I'm using the Soul's Journey tonight, guys. James Van Praagh, for the guidance. All right, so the balance card comes out and it says, I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. The friendship card is also here. I understand that it is in my life for a reason. I think that a lot of us are starting to notice our soul tribe. And I think a lot of us are starting to notice that. How many of you feel like your inner circle has gotten rearranged? Like how many of you feel like your friend group has gotten smaller? Um, it's like everyone, there's less people, it's more intimate now, right? It's like 2025 was this whole year of learning to protect our energy and remove people from our lives that couldn't go with us where we were going, right? And honestly, I don't think we even had to remove them. I think most of us were trying to hold on to people as we watched spirit just remove them out of our lives as we work through 2025. I feel like that's more of what it felt like to me. I think that we're all gonna start to experience that. We're all going to start to realize that the inner circle is becoming smaller, and sometimes you're not right next to each other. Sometimes we're on other parts of the country. Sometimes we're in other parts of the world, right? But I think it doesn't really matter where we're at or how far away we are from each other, as long as we're in communication, right? And I think that's why Spirit is constantly getting on to me about being consistent with the lives, because this is one of those safe places, right? This is one of those places where you feel like home, like you're comfortable, like you belong. And if I'm not consistent, I'm not here every Tuesday and every Thursday, then you can't count on that as a safe place. Does that make sense? I think a lot of us are going to start to see that our soul tribe or soul family maybe isn't necessarily right next to us. And I think there's a purpose for that as well, right? Like I think it has something to do, like why are we all in different locations like we are? I feel like it's because we all have something to do in our, you know, perspective area, like wherever spirit has put us. All right. I knew I wanted to do a talking to heaven. Right, definitely try. hold on to a few people. Yes, I did too. I don't have a drug issue in my life. Like, I never really got addicted to anything. Not saying I didn't try stuff, y'all. I'm not, like, innocent or anything. I tried all kinds of stuff. But nothing stuck. I don't know, never had that issue. I get addicted to people. Like, that's my thing. I get addicted to, um, people's, um, like, what I believe they're capable of. You know what I mean? And then it's like, I can't let it go. I'm like, "I think they can do it. I'm just gonna keep pushing until it happens," and then, Mhm. Feel like, I mean, "Hi, Diana, talking to heaven. Hi, you see the birth chart and chakra readings on your screen? Those definitely could be good gift ideas, so if you're struggling to come up with a gift for a friend or family member or someone else you know going through spiritual awakening, definitely make sure to check out the PLR website. The link's always in any of my YouTube videos, guys. Any of my YouTube videos. The two cards came out right away. You are never alone, and I wish I had told you much more often how much I love you. Okay, so with Diana, I always feel like you have a line of um I was wondering that myself today, Miss L. But Diana, I feel like there's always like a line of people that have messages for you. And I will say that for the most part, um, your ancestors, passed on loved ones are calm, as I said that. But mostly calm and respectful, and um, it's like they take turns, right? Or they give all their information to one person and then expect that one person to give me the message. um, there are some people that they have a lot of people that want to get a message across. So I feel bombarded sometimes, and then it's like hard to understand the message. So you are never alone is your entire um like soul healing, spirit team, which does include passed on loved ones. But the I wish I had told you more often how much I love you is coming from a passed on loved one. It is someone who was very like hard to their core um, through life. It's someone who felt they had to be this way to it's like they're trying to prove some type of inner strength, but definitely could have also given you like, it could have inspired you in moments where you were going through, like, challenges in your life. I feel like this person has probably been passed for a long time, maybe even, like, when you were younger, because it's like each time you're going through life and you're experiencing something challenging, it's like you're tapping into this energy. So this energy, it's like it showed you or taught you how to find your own inner strength. It's gonna be someone that went through a lot of challenges themselves, and maybe they struggled to be vulnerable. I feel like that's the message is that they had been more vulnerable with you, and there could be something about vulnerability that's coming up for you right now, or in your surroundings, like people around you. Alright, let's read it out of the book. It says, "I wish I had told you more often how much I love you. It's funny when I first came over here and had a chance to look back at my earthly life, I realized the way in which my own insecurities and fears held me back from expressing the true innermost parts of my heart. I was so caught up in my own day-to-day life that I didn't take the time to express myself like I should have. If you could look up at the sky right now, you would see 'I love you' written in the clouds and colored by the stars. From my spiritual perspective, I know all the little things you did quietly for me and can't thank you enough. Love continues to live on in your heart, and together we can be reassured that it can never die." There's definitely something, Diana, in the message about the clouds, seeing "I love you" written in the clouds. It's also very possible that, like, you spent time with this person actually looking at clouds, maybe trying to come up with, like, pictures of what something looked like, or maybe now when you're just cloud watching yourself, you're reminded of this person. Alright, I'm gonna leave that there. I hope that was helpful. Guys, talking to heaven is also a private reading, also um, found over on my website. I don't know. It felt longer than that. I mean, very possible. That doesn't make sense. Hard shell Scorpio, yeah. Somebody that doesn't want to like open up or express their feelings. Very possible. You may be onto something. If that's the case, then old soul, because it feels very um, comfortable where it's at. Did we get package, Diana? Yeah, because I did. I'm so glad. I'm not very good at that stuff, Miss L. Like I feel like I was, trying to be like all, you know, nonchalant, like, hey, how do you feel about flowers? You know, and it was like it wasn't working. And then she told me you had asked her too, so it was like she knew you were on up to something. I know. Fun times at PLR. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Thursday. Thursday night, I'll be back with all 12 signs. I will say that I felt the burnout months ago, honestly. And the 2 lives a week has definitely been helpful. It's a lot easier to show up to 2 live streams, for an hour, hour and a half, even 2 hours when we're doing, all 12 signs, than it is to be, 3 to 5. We at one point, we were doing 5 live streams a week. So, I'm just saying, like, it's definitely a lot calmer, it's definitely a lot easier, and it's definitely helping me through my burnout recovery. So if you feel like it's just too much on your plate, guys, just start taking some of it off your plate. It's that easy. My daughter was in town. Rosa did her birth chart for her, and we had it arranged. I love it. I'm glad it turned out as well as it did. And let me know about that journal. I don't want to get into that too much because that was a new thing for me. I've not done that before. I've created journals and journal prompts myself, right? And then I've created them for the collective as well. I sell them over on my website. They're digital downloads, super easy. But I've never created a journal for a specific person. Let me know how that works because I feel like if it's something that's helpful, that might be something I could add as a service, to those that receive the birth chart, right? But yes, guys, birth chart analysis, there is so much I have learned to do, and be able to see through your birth charts in the last 5 years. It blows my mind, I'm telling you. Like, I remember when I first started and I would get overwhelmed by the planets. Like, now I've included all the asteroids. I've included everything. Like, there's every spot, your nodes, everything. It definitely helps you, get into alignment and find purpose. So for those of you that feel like you're struggling to figure out what your soul job is in this lifetime or what your purpose is, the birth chart analysis could definitely be helpful, right? I feel like I have fine-tuned it in such a way, that it really just helps you get in line a lot faster. So we don't have to experience these types of forced spiritual alignments like we're having with this South new moon right now, right? All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming in, everyone. Miss Al, it was so nice to see you. Moderator ladies, thank you for coming in and hanging out with me. Don't forget, Thursday night, off 12 signs. I will put timestamps in. I know last week was like super hectic. I do apologize. We're going to do better this time. So Thursday, make sure to join me for all 12 signs. If not, you can catch the timestamps in the description box. I still don't have the timestamp for last week's. Again, a disruption in the force, and I just haven't found it yet. But Thursday night, we're going to be looking at the week of the 21st through the 20th. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all that good stuff to everybody out there. I hope to see everyone Thursday night. I'm always, always sending all of you abundant love and light on your journey. Have a good night, everyone.